Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. And today we're going to be talking about Train because you guys probably suck at this map. I've had a lot of people asking me about it, just looking for some help. Hopefully, this will be a great way to start you off on the CT side of Train. But before we get to that, quick little word from the sponsor, as they are able to make this possible each and every single video that we're uploading. So for those of you that have watched my stream for a while, know that cs.money's worked with me for a very long time, and I've always used their site. They have fast trades. I'm usually in and out of the site in probably like 5 minutes. I don't even think there's been a time where I've looked up a skin and they don't have it. Sometimes you have to do a couple filters to find the right skin, but it just takes a few minutes and you can find anything you ever want on there. Last but not least, they do any payment method you could want. They got card, PayPal, crypto, you're good to go. Now, something some of you might not be as familiar with, they do now have also a marketplace where you can do peer-to-peer, has lower prices, and there's discounts on there. They also, if you just don't want the hassle of anything, you can instant sell and cash out on the spot right away, and you just have to click the icon in the top right. I would greatly appreciate if you guys do a trade on that website, that you use my link that'll be in the description below. I also want to just add a little side note, guys. This isn't a part of the sponsor thing. So many people get scammed. Be very careful. Ideally, if you have a sponsored link similar to like mine right now from somebody you trust, make sure you're always clicking on the safe sites and not accidentally getting fished and going to a different one and losing all your inventory. That's the last thing anybody wants. Now let's get you back into the video. So first things first, you have your inside player. Now for my team lately, this has actually been me, which I've never been an inside player before, but good news for you guys, I'll have some stuff cooked up for you. And then you're gonna have basically your two outside aggressive riflers, and then you're gonna have your guy at Ivy that's a complete rat and probably baiting his whole team, but he's got some pretty decent aim. And then you're gonna have the star of the show. I don't care what anybody tells you, the AWP is still king on this map, and if you are going to be picking it up for your team, you better know what you're doing. Let's just kind of talk about what the overall idea is and how you should probably be playing in your matchmaking and premier games, basic games, whatever it is. Let's just talk basics, keep it simple, stupid, and we'll start there. You're going to have two guys that are probably the most important rifles and maybe the most important players on the team, even over the AWPer, because if these guys don't handle the yard, is what we're going to call it, which basically is this entire area that makes up outside. If they don't get a handle on this, the AWPer can't really get to work, and it's not going to really matter. So if you are this player, if you are the, we'll say, E-box player and the T-mid player, really think of yourselves as more of a duo and try to make sure that you're working together throughout the map. And what I mean by that is at the start of rounds, really your job is to prevent them from getting out T-mid. And if they do, you want to make it as painful as possible for them. I'll show you a little bit of util, but we're not going to go super in depth with it. I just want to show you a couple basic nades that can hopefully help you. So if you're the T-mid player or the E-box player, one of you should come towards what I like to call this area camera and throw this smoke. And this is just a smoke to prevent the T's from being able to take long range engagements across you and allows you to push further forward closer to T-mid. It's a very loose lineup. This is not super set. And honestly, you might have to take a little, time out of your day and practice this a couple times in the server. If you watch me throw this in the video and you just go into the game yourself, you're probably going to miss it, and then you're going to be mad at me when really it's a skill issue and it's your fault. The height of this is you're going to be kind of keeping an eye on the top corner of this electrical box, and then what you're trying to do is bounce this smoke off this guy's face. Look at this guy. What an idiot. And then you usually want to release it right before this turning point or corner. So it should look something like this. Wow. Incredible smoke. And what that does is it allows you to cut off T-mids. That way people can't just sit in T-mid and duel you from long range. Also, if they run through it, you can now use your utility to create sectioned off fights and force them to run through a smoke. And if they don't have good utility usage, and guess what? If you're playing in Premier, I can assure you they're not going to have good util. You can absolutely work your way into what we call Olaf and get in this position, which is incredibly strong and hard to flush out. Quick little suggestion, if you're one of the T-mid guys or the E-box guys and the team actually did watch a video or just use the built-in guide on the map and they throw a sandwich smoke, if you threw that smoke at the start that I just showed you, don't be afraid to throw a flash through it and come through yourself. They won't be able to see your flash coming as you're going through the smoke because their smoke blocks your flash, and you're going to have the complete drop on them, and with that smoke off, you're going to separate them here, and it's just free kills for you. The other option that you can do, it's CS2. We have the technology now. You can out-nade the smoke. You can get them as they're coming out this way. I personally actually prefer the flash because when you nade the smoke, it kind of just gives, rings the dinner bell, so to speak, and it kind of gives them the heads up you're coming. Use the flash a couple times and see how it feels and get used to doing that, because I think you'll be really surprised at how powerful it is. We kind of showed like the perspective of like what one person is doing. Now let me show you what you can do if you're another So if you're part of this like little duo tandem that I'm talking about in like T mid, you are working together. So if you want to come through Z, what you can do is similar to that other, this is going to take you some time. You might have to throw this a couple times. But basically kind of come out here with your crosshair. You're going to have to get a few reps, but it's basically above this key and you kind of want it halfway at this window. I know it's a little vague, but you'll kind of see it here in a second. So you come up halfway through this wall and then you aim at the top of that and then you release and throw it. And the reason why you do that is it mollies straight into T mid and it forces the T's to have to make a decision. They can try to run through it, which if they do, that's going to be pretty painful, even with how terrible the CT molly is. Or two, they're going to have to smoke it, which guess what? If they smoke it, they just gave you a T mid smoke, right? Really powerful for early rushes. If you're the guy coming out Z, what you can do is then pair it with a nice little nade off of the back train there and just force and punish anybody coming out of T mid with a nice little hefty nade. Maybe you can bounce another flash to follow it up. Ideally, your teammate's helping you out with that smoke or they smoked it for you, and then you can start challenging here. Now, with the new timings on train, you have a little while here. You don't have to worry about anybody coming out ladder yet. You can kind of actually just hang out. You get a second to settle in. So you really want to try to section this off. You want to stop these guys from coming out T mid early with your duo and with your AWPer eventually, if they know what they're doing. Then start worrying about long dog is what it's now being called and what it's on the radar at least. And well, it's a long dog. Without getting too hyper specific, just use this as a guideline. You want to try to have T mid or you want to have long dog. These are great like ideas to maintain. So when you're throwing all these nades, you're getting control later on. Maybe throw a deeper smoke and take it from the T's and pair it with like a little molly. And this is stuff that you can throw on the fly. This does not have to be crazy because you're gonna have a smoke up. You're gonna punish them early if they run out at you. There's a lot of things that you can do that's pretty straightforward actually after that initial like rush phase where the T's might try to bamboozle you and get out early T mid. Being just brutally honest, man, if you're not playing at like a higher level, and I mean like a super high level, I'm saying even for me in my games, the amount of people that are going to have a lot of proper utility to flush out somebody at Olaf or even just throw a decent flash that you're not going to see sitting up here is pretty slim. So really just punish that rush initially, suffocate the T's into T mid and make them have to work their way through long dog. And if you just stop that early and you're the duo rifle out mid, you're gonna have so much success. Ivy used to kind of be the spot that not a lot of people wanted to play and go, but I feel like in 2 it's really gotten a lot nicer, and that's just because you're just a rat. You just have so many options and the T's have so little that it's not really a high like action area, and 2, because of that, it just frees you up to like help the T middle guys when you want to, or like when the rush comes out, you get to pick and choose where you want to participate and which fights you want. Your general rule of thumb as the Ivy player, 1, don't die. Just be the hide and seek champion. There's so many nooks and crannies that you can play on these guys and so many different off angles that you can just sit on, where if they're not committing a bunch of resources to you, it's really hard to deal with you. So make them work for it. Don't just go swinging this. This does nothing. If you kill a guy back there, that's great. But let's just say you get info that they're back there. Who cares? Like, let them sit back there. And if they're scaling up, like I said, make them work for it. All you do here by challenging here and dying is just like basically concede a part of the map that feels like it shouldn't even be losable. Which is like, then you kind of give them access to back lanes, which just gets weird. You then give them access to camera and hell. Just simply be a weenie, play hide and seek, become the champion of it, and at the end of the day, never be a free kill at Ivy. Let's talk about some things you can actually do besides just not die. First thing I'm going to do is completely go against everything I just told you because I'm an absolute genius. If you are queued with someone, only do this. If you have a really good spawn, for example, like right around here, you just run Ivy and just run it down and have your friend flash for you because this is actually really powerful. A lot of people like to solo go Ivy on the T side, and even if they don't, with a good flash, you can at least find one. You just run here and then you ask for somebody to flash and it's going to pop behind you. And when it does, you just look for this initial fight. Now, unless you're feeling real confident and you think you're Nico, don't go all the way to here. Little Jimmy over there has got, 10,000 hours and is ready to pre-aim you on this headshot only angle. He just pops you. Get your one, have a nice day, and just annoy the other T's. The way you can just throw a flash is it's actually not hard. Like I said, I just don't trust anyone to throw it for me in a game because, well, see, look, I just messed it up right here. Now, Some really cool positions that I'll just like talk about real fast. One, this don't sit here. Everybody pre-aims here. This looks like it makes sense. And you know what? To your brain, it probably does make sense. Like to sit here. This is such an isolated fight. Make them come all the way out. This is kind of like a BE apps on Mirage. Like make them commit to being out of Ivy before you're really just giving them a fight. You know, you can maybe play here if you got a teammate close by, or you could actually just like do this little off angle here, because once they come out, they got to clear that deep angle I just showed you. Another one you could do is you could literally wait for them to throw all those nades and then just come out here. Oh, and did I mention there's another off angle here behind the bomb? You don't have to just like challenge them straight head on. Please take advantage of these. It's an absolute nightmare as a T trying to come out of Ivy, so make them live that nightmare every time you play this position. Now, a new role. And by new role, I mean for me. And it sucks in here, man. I'm just gonna be real. Like if you're playing this by yourself and you're stuck inside, you're gonna be living a miserable existence. So let's talk about some things that you can do. You sit here, jiggle on the backside. Jiggle like closer to here. You don't want to be this close because some little Timmy or little Jimmy's gonna just absolutely pop you in the head. Play further back here. And the reason you do this is just for that info, right? Like you just want to make sure that they're not just like rushing you, and if they do, then you could drop the molly, and if they cross, that's good too. That's good information. Like you don't even need to throw anything if it doesn't, you know, use your intuition a little bit. If you're not hearing like a full stampede and you see a guy cross up top, all good. Don't throw your molly or your smoke. Give it some time. Maybe you think this guy's just trying to like walk in here and catch a random timing. Well, tell him welcome to the Thunderdome and don't give him any kills. Once again, you're just playing hide and seek champion. There's so many positions here where if these guys are not throwing a full execute at you, make their life a living hell. Real quick, if you do see them on a rush, you know, drop a molly here. Personally, I like to fall all the way back here to Thomas. If they smoke the molly and run down, peek into their molly, okay? They're smoking themselves out and they now have to run through their own smoke. If that completely stops them, well, guess what? We got an HE, right? So make sure you drop it up there, leave a nice little present up there, keep an eye up here. If you think that they're just waiting out the Molotov, smoke it yourself. This is such an important tip for so many people. It's like, what do you mean by that? If I drop a molly here and I think they're just sitting there and I fell all the way back here, take the initiative away from the T's. If by me smoking the Molotov, I'm not letting them time their hit, right? I'm getting that smoke down and I'm preventing now any vision of them coming out. So now they better have a flash. And if they were just trying to run down on a timing, they're all running through a smoke at me. And if I do get flashed, well, good news. They can't see me when they come through this smoke now, and I can just tuck and hide. If you're entering like that hide and seek mode and you know there's a guy around you like trying to play mind games, this is where it's gonna just like, you're gonna either really enjoy this aspect or hate it. But I would really tell you, if there's not a lot of outside pressure and you can tell a teammate to rotate in, there's no reason not to. If I've learned anything in Premiere, it's if you're not cheating, you're not trying. So cheat and have help from your teammate. So make sure when they rotate in, just say, hey, dude, can you pick up my upper? Because guess what? He can spot your upper right here. And ideally, this is going to be your upper. Later on, when you get more comfortable in the site, what you can start doing is when you have a teammate holding your upper, you can creep up to here. You can start taking fights with people when they come down lower. You'll be so surprised at how many people, when they come down lower, say you don't have any util left and everybody's got to look at Z. They got to look at Z. They got to look over here. They got to clear this. They got to go across. And you're just right here. You've been waiting for this moment your whole life, and you just clean them up on a nice little off angle. So you got to play hide and seek simulator a little bit. You're going to need to be comfortable communicating with your teammates and maybe asking for help. And if you are asking for help, tell them what to look at. Hey, can I get help inside? Look at my upper if you see him get close by. Whatever it is, like just communicate as best you can what you're watching and try to tell the other guy what he should watch and what you need, because you're the one that's in the thick of it. So you need to let him know what you need out of him. I wouldn't be a nice player if I didn't tell you guys how to push inside. We don't get to do much as the inside guys. So if you're lucky and you're duo queued and you want your homie to help you out, tell him to get on top of Thomas, aim at the top of this ridge and just throw like a little forward W throw, and you as the inside player get to go have a lot of fun. You get to run up here because guess what? Your timing is insane. You can beat the T's coming out of here, and when they catch that flash, they are just going to get absolutely obliterated by it, and you're just going to get some free kills. And this is good to do every once in a while. It's good to punish people that just kind of lazily come in here. They don't respect you. They're not throwing proper util to prevent you from pushing up that ramp. That's where you find your value as an inside player. And then last but not least, if you're just playing a bunch of guys, they're just running out team mid every round, don't rotate Z every single time. It can be tough. There might be a guy lurking here because he's an absolute rat. And if he is, you just like One, you kill him. Two, if you die to him, you just say he's a rat and baiting his whole team, okay, to feel better mentally. But really, part of playing anchor positions is knowing how to punish timings of people not respecting where you're playing. If you're playing inside, they go outside every round, punish them. Go long dog as quick as you can, as comfortably as you can, and try to hit that timing for them and be that thorn in their side. Now, last, not least, and probably most importantly, AWP. I don't AWP anymore, but you know, there's still some fundamental things that are pretty much the same. You're going to start most rounds. You should probably know that molly that I showed earlier for those team mid guys. Why? Because you're trying to stop the rush too. Trust me, the longer this round plays out, the more of a good time you're going to have with this crutch of yours in your hand. There's a few ways you could go about this. If you think they're rushing out team mid early, don't overcommit. Come right here, wait for this guy to swing E-box. Don't overdo it. Drop your nades. Maybe you drop an HE early because you're a really nice guy. Op out. Op out, op out, op out. Try to not throw as much util for your teammates. Your teammates might cry about it, but you have almost a $5,000 weapon in your hand. You have the most influence in the game. Use your op as much as you can. Next option, your teammates are doing a good job of shutting everything down. These guys don't do anything to like prevent you from peeking. You can just bounce a little dinky flash like this and just peek. Oh, you don't see anything? Guess what? You can come up here and now you actually have a shadow angle on anybody that comes out team mid. Now let's talk about it like this. You start camera maybe. Maybe you didn't want to go team mid. If they don't throw the sandwich truck, you can punish them going to Olaf. Now, just keep in mind, if you come across here, you're going to die to this guy team mid. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this. I kill all of you doing this all the time. I'm just feeling really generous today. Same aspect goes for here. If you come over here and you peek like this, just keep in mind that he can see you before you see him. So that's a tough one. Make sure you're kind of managing where their op is because you don't want to get counter-sniped and lose all that value. Guess what? You can be a rat too. If your IV player is struggling, he's not very good at hide and seek, and you really got to show him how to do it. You know, just come over here with the op, sit your op here a few times. If you're feeling presence, you can pick different angles. If you don't even want to fully commit to IV, guess what? You can just sit here on back lanes that you can hold too for when they come out and they can't even leave IV if there's not a camera smoke. You actually have so many options, it's not fair. And if you have a bad game with the op on train, more than likely, if your team stops a rush and you have a bad game, it's your fault. I'm just going to be real. You have rotate quick to inside where you can hold upper. If you really think it's going to be inside, you can even reposition. You can hold deeper into upper to really protect your teammate. Good news is your teammate died. You're holding upper. You now have a lane for all of them to cross into sight. That's going to be incredibly difficult. If you're good with the op, you have good intuition. You actually can manage your money, have good positioning, and hit a fair amount of the easy shots. You're going to absolutely have a great day on this map. If you're not, maybe put the rifle down and go inside like I did. So to wrap this up, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I've been having a lot of fun doing this series. It's been really nice. You guys suck at a lot of maps, so it makes it really easy. But most importantly, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on this video. Let me know below which map. I think we got Nuke. I think we have a couple T-sides left. Let me know what you guys would like to see next. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.